morning, people out there in podcast land. Welcome to episode number 144 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is December 20th, 2023, and my guest is Licia in Maryland. No announcements this week, so let's cut straight away into the chat with Licia.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back. I have Licia with us today. And where are you located?
I'm in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. Okay. Okay, good. Now, let's see. I'm trying to think of my Maryland guests. We had Eileen Cole and Lisa Peter.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe some others, but those are the two off the top of my head. So just, some eBay friends that may not or may be near you, but people like to listen to these podcasts and be like, oh,
that's right. Yeah, we may know each other for, just by, I don't know.
Okay, good. Well, I'm so glad to have you here. And we always start off with a little bit about what brought you to eBay and when.
Okay, well, so I've been on eBay since 2015, but not as a reseller. My husband and I were just pretty much buying things on eBay, that we needed. And then when the pandemic hit, we ended up working from home, and that's when I started listening, on the to the podcasts online. And I'm saying, this kind of sounds like fun, to go and try to find stuff to sell. And so I started doing it first, with my own stuff. I had things that were just sitting around in the house. And so I said, well, let me just throw them on eBay, see if I can, get any buyers. And so I started selling a couple of things here and there. And then the more I listened to the podcasts or YouTube things, about eBay, the more I listened to that, I became more interested in it. And so I started, deciding, well, maybe I can make, a little side income by actually buying things to resell. And, and that's how it went from there. So I basically started doing it in 2021 more seriously. But I mean, I'm still not doing it part-time, but, because I have a full-time job. So,
okay.
So 2021 is actually when I started.
Okay. And what is your full-time job?
I'm a customer service rep for a biotech company, and I do quotes for them.
Okay.
And I'm lucky enough to work from home.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yes. Yes.
That's wonderful. So you can blend the two of these together.
Yes.
Working at home. Okay.
Yes.
Now, is it who all is in the household with you?
Well, actually, my husband works pretty much mostly from home. He goes in about 3 times a week. And then my 2 kids, one of them, he works in Pennsylvania. So he'll commute to Pennsylvania 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the time he's home. And then the other one actually has a job outside, close by. But they both live at home. And then I have a daughter, and she's in Arizona. So she,
Oh, that's a long way.
Yeah, that is a long way. Yes.
How did she end up out there from Maryland?
That's a very good question. She's a nurse, and she can pretty much go anywhere. But basically, her best friend was in Arizona, and she said, well, let me just check out another place. And so she went, and, she started, she went there maybe about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she started living with her friend, and, she liked it. And for right now, she's happily, she's there.
What part of Arizona is she in?
Glendale, which is near Phoenix.
Phoenix, of course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Lots of beautiful nature stuff out there.
Yes.
In Arizona.
That's true.
So
yes,
fun place
Arizona.
for young people, well, any people, but if you're younger and you can do all the hiking and
Yes, and that's
Sedona
exactly what
and
she likes to do, in fact.
yes,
You're right.
that's wonderful. So hey, as long as she's happy and you have
Well, actually, we're trying to get her back here, but we'll see how
yeah,
that
well, you
goes.
have technology to it doesn't feel so far away when you can, do FaceTime or
Yes. Yeah, you're
text every
right. You're
day and
right.
that kind of stuff. So good, good. Okay. So now we know a little bit about you. And do you want to talk about some of the things that you've sold? Because I do see you posting on the group a lot.
Well, I'm not sure whether I'm picking up better things or I'm being more like patient. Um, Basically my attitude has changed. In the beginning, I was just trying to get rid of stuff. Then I started picking up things to resell, and then and I was holding on to things maybe a little bit too long because I was thinking, oh well, it's it's worth this much, to me or to whatever, so I should hold out and wait. And then lately I'm thinking, well, I'm not a storage unit. I need to just, if I get a good offer, I need to just take it,
Right, right.
stop holding on to things. So anyway, so yeah, so one of my first sales was like in 2021, and when I started, and I think that's when I kind of got really interested, was this Pendleton blanket. It was brand new, and I was lucky enough to find it at Goodwill, and I almost didn't get it because it was like the regular $12 price for a
Mhm.
queen size blanket. So I went ahead and I bought it, and then I put it on eBay, and it ended up selling for $179. So
Excellent.
that was pretty good. And then some of my other sales, like I remember my first overseas sale. It was, I was very nervous. I had picked up this China breakfast dish set by
Mhm.
Alfred, I think Miakin. I'm not sure whether, it's like one of those cute little English sets, with
Okay.
the little cup, the bowl, and the plate.
Okay.
And it ended up selling to somebody in New Zealand. And so you should have seen my first package. It was like so funny. Like it was like the way I wrapped it was so, oh my goodness. Whew. But anyway, so I sold that for $39. And to me, that was a lot back then, but it was a big pain in the neck. But but recently, like for example, I have a sale that I didn't post yet. I bought these two. They're like little dolls from an estate sale. They were poinsettia dolls. They look like, they have like a poinsettia flower around their head, and then they're like stick figures.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I'll post them, when I get a chance. But they've been sitting in my store for about a year plus, and I just sold those for like, what is it? I think I just sold those for $99. So that was a pretty good sale just more recently.
Yeah. And how much did you pay for them?
Probably about $5
Yeah.
from an
Yeah.
estate sale.
Okay. Estate sale. Good. Good.
Yes.
So,
Now that I'm doing, eBay a little bit more like seriously, I go to estate sales, especially during the summer. Um, and you did a podcast on the estate sale and how to do it and everything. I mean, I don't, I admire those people that pick up like the things from the bathroom and all that.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, oh, I can probably find that kind of stuff all the time, but it's like I don't like to do it. I like to find stuff that's more like, I don't know, unique, and then I think, oh, I like that, but I think somebody else would like that too.
It's all about how you want to do it. And
Exactly, and you got it,
those,
like, right?
those people on the estate sale podcast, they've been doing it a long time.
Yes, they have.
Everybody has their particular items that they gravitate towards doing. And that's that's why there's room for anybody in this business, because we don't all want to do the same things,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to do what I mean, part of this is not just getting the income, but also to have things that you like in your store, like you said.
Well, and if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Just those items that, yeah, I can make money on that, but do I really want to? I've been seeing a lot of VCRs lately.
Yes.
And yeah, you can make money on it, but
you got to have it in your house for who knows how long, right?
And you got to test it, which is fine. But if you're in a smaller space,
yes,
you don't want 20 VCRs.
No, just sitting around. That's right.
Want like the little things that don't take up much room. But then again, if you have a lot of room, sky's the limit. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
You can have as much inventory as you like. So it's all about your personal space. And
right.
Some people just don't like a lot of I don't want to say clutter, but a lot of stuff in their personal space.
I agree. Yes.
It's overwhelming, and it can be like, for me, it just creates a lot of anxiety when I just have a lot of stuff.
Definitely. So, yes.
But yeah, it's whatever you like to do. So really, sellers should not compare themselves to other sellers, because you've got your own journey that you're doing. And if you don't want to sell that thing, like, I do a lot of plush, but rarely do I do the great big jumbo ones.
Right.
I mean, if
you did once, I think. I
have. I did a sloth last year.
That's it.
And he sold around Christmas time, I think, for around 120, and he cost me $5. And some of those big, like husky dogs or certain dog breeds, but I just don't have room for all that stuff. And
exactly.
I have a llama right now that is, I don't know, it's about 3 feet tall, and I'm waiting for somebody to buy that. But so, you can be picky about things. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So back to you and some more things that you have found and sold.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I've sold just recently. I sold a cashmere coat, a men's coat, for about $100. No,
nice.
Yeah, that was. But I mean, I've been waiting. I've been sitting on that for a while, and I mean, I picked those up, and back like a couple of years ago, they used to sell better. But now it's like either because men don't wear the long overcoats all the time, I guess, it takes a special kind of buyer.
I sold one last year, and I think I had it for over a year.
But I mean, the value is there. Cashmere and everything. So that's why you kind of don't want to just sell it for like, a few bucks. I mean, because I think it takes a special person to get that.
Well, the one I sold was, it was 100% cashmere, and it went to the Midwest, like Iowa, somewhere that is really cold.
Yes.
It wasn't in perfect condition. There was a few little moth trails like on the back, and I had all that in the listing. It's not in perfect condition, but it was a nice coat. Like, it didn't need to be pristine condition, because I felt like out there where it's really cold and snowy, like this is going to be their their
go-to coat,
utilitarian coat. Like it's okay if it's not perfect. They're going to be just for warmth and not necessarily like style, like whatever. So to the listeners, things don't have to be perfect.
That's true.
Just close what is going on with it, and be patient, because I think that coat cost me about $7, and it sold for over $100.
Yeah. So, definitely. That is, you definitely have to be patient on some things.
Yeah. So.
I was gonna say, one of the my biggest sell, actually, I was gonna mention that was these boots. I think I mentioned them. Let's see. Let me find them. They were Danner.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to find them at a local thrift store near me for like $3. Actually maybe $4, because they sell all their boots for $4 and all their shoes for $3. And so occasionally you'll find this rare item, and these were brand new. And basically I sold them to somebody they weren't even on eBay for that long. Let me see how much did I sell them for $301.
Wow.
But I mean, they do retail. They're handmade in Colorado. So I'm saying they do retail for like $400 brand new. And so getting them for $100 off is still pretty good.
Were they like men's work boots, or were they fashion?
Yeah, they were called Acadia boots. They were like ankle boots, leather, and with the ties, like with the tie-ups in the front.
Right, the laces, right?
Yeah, the laces. Yep. And they were just really good boots. So I actually had an issue with that. That was funny. The buyer, I mean, maybe he had buyer's remorse or something. After a month, he basically puts in and he says, "Oh, you know what? I want to return this because this and that. Because they're not. I don't think they're real. They're not." Okay.
Oh, they thought they were fake?
Yeah, they were. They took after a month, mind you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, I have no returns on my store, just because of convenience more than anything. I mean, I'll accept returns if something is my fault, or like if they really have a problem with it. But anyway, so what I did was I actually contacted the company, and I had all the information on these boots, on the UPC number and all that. And I said, I emailed the company. I said, well, this person is claiming that these boots are fake. Are they? And the company responded and said, no, they're absolutely, they're brand new. They were sold, they were like from this lot, this and that. So anyway, I was able to respond to the person that wanted to return them and say, hey, look, these are real and there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, it's like you're getting the real stuff. So I was able to avoid the return.
Oh, good. Well, and it's like, oh, gee, all of a sudden after 30 days now.
Exactly. Why didn't you just tell me, like, right away? I'm thinking this is what happened, that probably the person was wearing them and that they didn't quite conform to his foot, because, brand new, you got to break them in and everything, even if they're fine boots. And so they never actually fit him properly. So he wanted to return them after a month, and they would have been used, by him return, so.
I had something like that recently. It was a dress. It was a J. McLaughlin dress, and it sold for about $60.
Okay.
And the lady got it, and a week after she received it, she said, oh, this has a terrible smoke odor.
Oh.
And I can't, I'm going to have to return it. Oh. And so I knew she was full of it.
Yes.
And I said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But I'm confused. We don't have, there's no smoking in my home. I don't even have a fireplace that would put off smoke.
Yeah.
I don't really even cook, so I wouldn't have a smoky oven. I'm just really confused about how that item smells like smoke.
Yeah.
Do you think somebody took it out of the package before it got to you and smoked? I was like really trying to see what she was going to say.
Yes. And what did she say?
She never answered.
Oh.
She returned it. It did not smell like smoke. And I feel like she just intentionally bought that dress to wear to something.
Oh, man.
And then returned it, which I don't care if people do that. I mean, you don't have to lie about it. Just say didn't fit, don't need, whatever.
Yeah. Don't give me
the way she did the return, it didn't give her free return shipping because she didn't do it as an item not as described.
Right.
And, she just, I have 30-day returns. So
so no big
I get clothing, sometimes none a month, sometimes 2.
Yeah.
It's not returned that often, but I just knew she was full of it. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get that back. And it's not going to smell like smoke. I know it does nothing. I keep everything in plastic so it can't absorb any odors. And I wouldn't sell something like that.
Right. Absolutely not. No, I agree.
And I also said to her, and if you look at my feedback, you can go through my thousands and thousands of feedback. No one has said anything about my items smelling like smokes.
Yeah,
I'm really confused. Can you help me understand how this happened? Yeah. And I mean, I really threw it back on her and she just never answered.
Yep.
So that people are going to do that. And it's, just answer their messages so that if eBay has to step in, they can see the conversation and that you were professional and you tried to help the person. But there's just buyers like that. They're going to do that.
I know.
Yeah. And it's like these people that this time of year, we are recording this early December, that go to retail stores and purchase clothing for their Christmas pictures.
Oh, right. And then
they return them. Like they leave the tags on them and tuck in the tags so you can see it. And they do their, matchy pajamas or whatever.
Right. Yes.
And then they just return everything.
Yes.
So January is also called Returnuary after
Yes, you're
December.
right.
Just you can always sell it again.
That's true. And every time you have brought stuff back. You
can always sell it again.
Yeah. Exactly. So
but I feel like you can sell more if you have that return policy on there because people a little with clothing, at least, people are like, if it doesn't fit, I can't return it. And even if you know exactly, like jeans, like if you get them at Old Navy, you wear this style and this size.
Yes.
Sometimes they're not exactly the same. You got to try them.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Welcome to Your Thought Life podcast, an award-winning show that takes you on a journey of self-discovery. We explore the root cause of your thoughts and actions, uncovering what truly drives you. This podcast is ideal for anyone seeking to understand their inner workings and to break free from limiting patterns once and for all. Join us to explore transformational insights and practical tips for achieving your dreams. Don't just dream it, live it. Visit yourthoughtlife.com/podcast or click on the link in the description to tune in. Get ready to transform your mindset.
Yeah, me, it's just because I'm doing it part-time and I just don't want to have the hassle of having a return and then I got to put it back in and so it's because I'm not a full-time. If I were a full-time, seller, then that would be, something.
Well, hey, you got to run your business the way it works for you. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm just saying, like,
no, I know.
It's just having sold clothing for over 20 years on eBay. I like to have that on there because me as a consumer, I don't want to buy clothing online if I can't return it.
Well, that's true.
Usually I end up reselling it for more than I paid for it anyway if it doesn't fit.
Yes, you're right.
So that's my safety net. Yeah, I can always resell it, but it's just buyers will just come up with things and
they'll come up with some good stories.
Like I wonder what was with those boots. Like if they didn't fit, why didn't they just say, "Hey, I haven't had a try these on, and can I return them because they're just not right for me?"
Yeah, this was after the 30 days. I'm saying he would have known that they didn't fit properly.
Yeah.
Imagine brand new boots, they have to be broken in a little bit.
Yeah.
Or unless he got the wrong size. That could have been
true. And some you got to try on shoes too. Sometimes they just aren't the same.
Yes.
I wear a 7 and I went to buy some shoes a while back and the guy at the store was like, "So what size are you?" And I was like, "I'm a 7." And he, measured my foot and brought out some things. He says, "I think you're a 7.5." And I was like, "Well, I identify as a 7." And you can't argue with that when somebody says, "I identify as," because you can't argue with that.
That's right.
With like leather shoes or dress shoes, you might need a bigger size.
Yes, it depends on the maker.
Right. Yeah. So, but in, athletic shoes and sneakers and stuff, it's going to be different, but you just don't know when you're buying online.
Yes.
And I had a lady return. Well, she opened a return for a hat. It was like a wool beret.
Oh.
It was not a raspberry beret. It was a black beret. But I did get it at a secondhand store. Anyway, so she got it and it was a one size fits all. And she was like, "Oh, I'm returning this. It's way too small."
Oh.
She didn't say, "Oh, my head is way too big."
Yeah.
So, but she never returned it.
Oh, there you go.
Sold around $35 and she never returned it. It timed out. So
good.
That's just, how you do anything is how you do everything. That's probably just her personality is.
Yes. Buyer's remorse.
Or just, some people, nothing suits them.
Right. That's true.
And
they
should not be buying online.
No, definitely not. If you don't want to, definitely not.
But, okay. Well, do you have anything else on your list you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. Basically, so I've sold some pretty unique antique photo albums, World War II, that sort of thing. And
really?
Yes. I basically picked those up at an estate sale. Not both of them, but one of them. And basically they were one of them was, the photos were from 1918 to 1945. And basically in the title, I had things like office girls, IRS, because that's what, the photos were of, soldiers, home, parade. So I used some keywords like that. And a buyer was interested enough. The album was listed under antique photo album. And I ended up selling that for like $135.
Nice.
Yeah. And then there was another one. There was a newer, somebody's son had organized his dad's World War II items in a very nice album. And I sold that for like, how much was that? Let me see. That was, I'm trying to look. Well, it was definitely over $100 again. And for the same reason, people are looking at the second album had maps, like a big map of operations. So of the whatever the father was in. And basically I sold that for like over $100. I don't remember exactly. I mean, it's in here someplace.
And where did you get these items?
Estate sales.
Okay. Is that your main source of income?
Well, during the spring and summer when they have more estate sales, yes, I try to go to some of the ones that are, like there are some estate sale people that I know have good prices. So I'll try to go to those estate sales. Some of them are way overpriced. So I don't go. But I picked those up from estate sales, the albums. So they were.
You have a good eye then for that kind of stuff.
Well, some of the stuff, it just, it's valuable, for just not just sentimental reason, but also for like history.
Yes.
Some people want to have they just like to have the old historical photos from that time. So yeah, they'll go and look for stuff online.
Yeah,
or maybe one of their relatives was in that same was living during that time, and so they want to have a record of something.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's a celebrity in like the yearbooks or anything, my dad was in the Army, and he has a picture of his unit, and Chris Christopherson, the actor.
Oh, he was in that picture?
Unit. Yeah, it says it on his uniform.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
And you can tell it's him. He's all military with no beard and and all that stuff. But I'm just like, some collector's gonna get that someday. Because and somebody sold, I think it was Will who was in the podcast before this, sold a yearbook with Jack Kevorkian. And
Oh, wow.
that was posted on the group.
Yeah, see, it's like, you may get a yearbook, but then if you don't look through it and you don't realize, oh, wait a second, this person is now famous. You can actually,
Yeah, collectors love that stuff.
yes,
Yeah. And it's
exactly.
not all online. If you Google some of these celebrities, like say you want to look up Paul Newman and look at pictures of him when he was younger.
Yes.
Like not every single picture of him is going to be online.
No, of course not.
In these college and high school yearbooks or just family snapshots and stuff like that. I think it's fascinating to look at that kind of stuff.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, every time I see something like that, I'll go, and if it looks interesting and if you can describe it correctly too, then you can probably sell it for a good price.
Yeah.
I think you got to have really good descriptors. I mean, I don't know why these people that bought the albums bought them. I'm not sure what they were interested in, but it was still nice.
Yeah, they may have some business where they resell.
Yeah, or
Where,
maybe they'll break the album apart and sell the pictures.
yes.
I know people do that.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened to that autograph book I sold
Yes.
for $1,000.
Yes.
It went to a guy in England who was an autograph dealer, and he broke it all apart and sold because he bought it from the same eBay account that he sells on.
Oh.
So I could see
what he was doing.
I didn't really want to break it apart and sell everything individually because
exactly.
then it would maybe need to be authenticated. And
yeah,
I was like, I'm just going to sell the whole thing as is and let somebody, piece it out if they want to.
I mean, I feel the same way about the albums, same thing. Plus, I don't know enough about the history, to say, oh, this was
right. Yeah. So I feel like we're the first tier of scavengers that go around and collect these things. And then it goes on to a real collector, or, how many times is it going to be resold to somebody else along the line? But I don't mind being the front line of rescuing things because, they're going to go somewhere to somebody who's going to appreciate them. And, it's a time thing, you've got a full-time job and research all that stuff.
Yeah, it takes time. Absolutely.
A box of 1,000 photographs. Like it's going to take forever to research all that.
Maybe when I'm retired.
Well, and you have to like researching.
Yes.
Some like postcards, you could pull out some of them maybe, and the ones that have maybe a business that doesn't exist anymore, or Disney in the early days or something like that, or the old cars.
Right.
But some people just love doing all that research. So
that's
power
true.
to them. I'm kind of like, let's get this done and move on because I got to get back out there and get more stuff.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So how does your family feel about you doing this?
Well, let's see. I guess they're okay with it. My husband is fine with it. In fact, he sometimes joins me in when we go to estates. He'll go do an estate sale with me. And actually, about that, he did pick up some of the stuff that he sees, like I wouldn't necessarily pick up, but he would. Mm-hmm. So, like for example, there is this one thing. It went on my it was actually ended up being a $100 plus sell. Mm-hmm. It was an Archie lunchbox. Archie?
Yes.
Back in the day. Yeah. So
Archie and Jughead and
yes, exactly.
I can't remember all the names. Veronica, maybe the girl.
Yes. Okay. So I'm actually, so he knows about all those characters. I actually came here when I was 14. So I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I know about Archie, but I don't know, like I wasn't a follower or anything.
Right. You weren't raised with that.
Exactly. So we went to this estate sale one time, and he saw this Archie lunchbox, and he said, oh, this looks good. And this must be worth some good money. So he went ahead and he bought it. It was at like $7, $8. And then he realized when he looked online, oh, wait a second, this is missing the thermos. Okay. So he went ahead and he looked for a thermos to complete the set. And he did end up finding an Archie thermos that went with the lunchbox. He bought that, and then he sold the whole thing. Let's see, I think it was like $135. He sold both items. I mean, I sold, really. It was under my name, but it was his purchase.
Right.
So he made like $135 off of that, little, just because he went to the trouble of getting the thermos and putting the set together.
Right. So, that's wonderful. So he's on board with eBay and reselling.
I mean, he's okay with it. He's not going to go and look for stuff. I mean, he's found other things. Like, for example, there was this this model plane. And, at first we didn't list it. And then we ended up listing it for like $100. And we had this one person that kept on, talking to us about it and all that. And then eventually, my husband, he likes a quick flip. He went ahead and he decided, well, you know what? I'm just going to sell it. He had an offer for $99. Actually, he refused that. And then he kept on, the item was listed, kept on being listed on eBay. And then we had another offer for like, I think 80. So he ended up selling it for the lesser amount because he wanted to wait for a bigger offer, but it never came. So,
right.
So he ended up selling this model plane for like $100. I mean, for like, I'm sorry, $80.
That's still great.
Yeah, that's still good. Yeah. But he could have taken the first offer.
It does take a lot of patience, especially if you're new.
Yes.
Once you have experience, that, okay, somebody's going to want this. I sold a plush this week. It was an Easter bunny.
Oh.
And, I sold it for, I think I took 25 for it, but it cost me 50 cents.
Oh.
And one person bought it. And then I got a message from another person oh, I'm looking for this and you don't have it anymore. I had it bookmarked and it's sold. Well, it was a mother and daughter that were trying to find this for the daughter's little baby.
Oh.
Who had it and lost it and was just completely having a meltdown because they lost their little bunny. And so they didn't know that the other one was on eBay trying to find it. I was like, wait, I thought you just bought this. You're looking for a second one. And so they were like, oh, no, my daughter must have been on here trying to buy it too.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
What a coincidence.
I probably had it for 6 months, but those kind of things where you're just kind of waiting for the kid to lose the plush or, the dog to tear it up or something. And then they need another one because it was like Gans or Gun or something.
I mean, some of them are irreplaceable to little.
Yeah, kids. You can't replace it. So that's the waiting game on these things is you just never know. And then I think I talked about this a couple podcasts ago, the Toy Story bed comforter.
Yes.
And the guy was just like, oh, I had this as a child. I've been looking for it.
Oh, yeah. I love
happy to find it.
Yes.
So you just, as you get more experience, you have to wait because at some point somebody's going to need this.
Yes.
Or want it,
That's right. That's right. No, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah. So, okay. What else you got?
Well, let's see. Let's see. Well, I sold, this was a while ago. It was a surprise sale. It was like this cookie, this Christmas mouse cookie. Do you know those cookie art forms where you can make cookies? But
it's
brown
like
bag, the brown bag
cookie mold. Yes.
Okay. So there is a special one that consistently sells. I happen to have found it at an estate sale for like a couple of bucks. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but it's the Christmas mouse.
Okay.
And that ended up selling for $117. And basically it's a consistent seller. Like every time you find that, I don't know why, but it must be a rare one or something, but people look for it. And if you find it, it's just about every time it's about $100 sell.
Do you remember what time of year it sold?
September. I have it down as September.
Okay, so
22.
not December for Christmas
No,
stuff. Yeah,
no,
just anything
definitely.
can sell at any time.
Yes, you're right. You always say that.
Well, yeah, now you're living proof of that.
That's right. That's right. I was gonna say, I sold these rollerblades. I only paid $5 for them. They were Betty Lidle
Okay.
style. Basically, I wrote down Betty Lidle styled by Hyde rollerblades. They were really the old rollerblades with the leather boot.
Okay.
And I sold those for like $188. So that's pretty
Wow.
good. And this was in 2022.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, there are so many things that will surprise people. Like, for example, I was looking through my stuff and I had this vintage Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt
Mm-hmm.
from the Disney. It was from the Disney store. And I never was wearing it. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to throw it up on eBay, see if anybody wants it. Well, it did. I mean, somebody did want it, and it sold for like $45. So that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. And then let's see. I sold let's see. Some unusual, well, not unusual actually. The throws, like the blankets,
Right.
and well, this particular one, it was Bob Timberlake.
Uh-huh. He's an artist.
Yes, and basically the theme was the Enchanted Hidden Garden. I basically Google Lensed it, and that's what it was. And that ended up selling for $82. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And for a
Yeah, he
blanket.
does a lot of nature, kind of like
Yes,
Thomas Kincaid, like
exactly.
a lot of nature.
Yes, but not just those kind of blankets. I mean, I've sold any kind of throw with the themes. Like I've sold the Christmas one for about $35. It depends on, it doesn't have to be the artist necessarily.
Right.
It can be a themed throw. People like that for some reason. I mean, I've sold for different prices, different.
Well, they're so expensive, brand new.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If they're in good condition,
yeah,
and it's a high quality, maybe it's wool,
yes.
and not all
And
of
they
them
were not
wool.
wool actually.
Yeah,
This was the double. You know how they have the double
reversible.
Yes, the
Yes.
reversible. They're like
Yes.
one. Yes, that's
yeah. Those definitely go for more because it looks nice on both sides.
yes, yeah.
But
And it depends on the theme. But I've sold some of those for pretty good money. And just recently I sold let's see. Okay, I picked up this art glass vase with the elephants, and it was like a really nice vase by Paul Benzunas.
Okay.
I did post that in your one of your
the Facebook group.
$100, yeah, the $100 plus sales. Well, that sold. That was, I mean, I had it for like a couple of years maybe, but it did sell for 151 finally. It just took the right buyer to get that. It was a beautiful vase with the elephants going around the edges, and very nice vase. So
was it glass or
it was glass? It was glass. It was like basically you can shine a light through it, and it was like reddish when you shine the light.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So it was a nice vase. So you just had to be patient, and
anything animal themed like that eventually will sell, and elephants are good luck.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. So
I mean, and it was a nice sturdy vase.
Yes. I was at an estate sale one time, and this lady, that's all she wanted was anything with elephants. And the people who the estate sale they were world travelers, and
Oh,
they had stuff from Asia and India and just everywhere. And she just picked up anything with elephants. Like there was this wind chime thing with all these
yeah.
elephants on it, and framed art and
Yes.
jewelry, and just she was just crazy about elephants. And I asked her, I said, because I like to know what's going on inside people's heads,
That's right.
because
Yeah.
then you can be a better seller if you know what
Yes.
you're looking for.
Yes, I
I
agree.
was like, wow, you must really love elephants, And she's like, yeah, my whole house is elephants. They're good luck.
Oh, well,
All
there
this
you
kind
go. She probably couldn't resist.
yeah, yeah.
She
So
had to have that.
yeah, so when I see anything elephant themed, whether it's clothing or stuff to put around your house, home
Yes.
decor, anything like that, just yeah, I pick it up if it's a reasonable price, because sometimes they don't care if what the brand is or the
Yes.
material, or that's just what they collect.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna bring up another cell just because it was my first like heartfelt, like the person actually was this person had never been on eBay before, but he was looking for a stapler, one of those staplers that for like handymans,
Yes.
that the ones that okay,
The
well he
really
was
heavy duty one, like a gun.
exactly, and you wouldn't think that would be, I mean, I didn't sell it for a whole lot necessarily. It was probably about $35, but the guy sent me a letter, with all this, like saying, oh, I've owned a Cobra Power Shot stapler for over 20 years. And, it's like it's a really nice letter saying how much he appreciated me having that for him. And so I'm keeping that as like one of my, this is my first time I've ever gotten anything about, an eBay sale. So that was like really heartfelt. So I
Yeah.
felt really, it made me feel really good,
Yeah.
that
I mean, you just
that I was
never
able to
know
sell that. Yeah.
on like those older tools that
Yes.
somebody had and they're replacing one that broke,
Yeah, and
or
they can't find it anymore, maybe
yeah,
because it's not,
yeah.
they don't have those, and they
And
probably have the cheaper ones now.
yes, all that older stuff is made so much better.
Yes,
Doesn't
yes,
fall apart in 5 minutes.
yep. I agree. I agree. Yes. So that was
Yeah.
really awesome. Yeah,
Nothing is off limits, and that was probably pretty easy to ship.
it was. And like I said, he actually sent me a note, like a typewritten note with what he does is like he sent me, I mean, maybe it was kind of like marketing his business too, but so what, that's fine, he's not even in my state, it was from a
Right.
different state, so it was
Yeah.
pretty unique, made me feel good.
Yeah. You've just sold all kinds of things.
Yes, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
have one more?
One time, okay, I picked up this golf bag from a church sale, and it was like probably like $10, $10. I don't even remember, I mean, it's probably written in my notes. It was a pink J golf bag with a stand. Okay. It was like, it looked brand new, never used, but of course you can't say it's brand new. Well, that ended up selling for $120. Okay. And it was a pain to ship because, it's big and you got to find the right box and everything, but that
Right.
was a good sell.
Very good.
No, and people don't necessarily feel like they can pick up, that sort of stuff, but I'm saying, why not? If it's a good
And
price.
it wouldn't be too heavy. It's just big.
No, it wasn't heavy. It was just like big. It was like,
Awkward, kind of
yes,
cumbersome. Yeah, but
yes,
not too
exactly.
heavy. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and I do have another one, another really good sale, thanks to my husband. We were we were at this churchyard sale, and he sees this bowling shirt, kingpin bowling shirt. Okay, it was yellow, short sleeves, probably a woman's size, like kind of like, like yellowish.
Uh-huh.
So he thought, hey, wait a second, that's really old. That must be worth something. Well, it ended up being, we think it was from like the 1950s.
Uh-huh.
That ended up selling for like $97.
Wow.
For just a shirt that he had just paid $1 for at this, church sale with a bunch of stuff that nobody cared, like,
Right.
sometimes they do church sales and they have stuff all over. That's
Uh-huh.
the kind of sale we went to.
And
So
they usually just have it on one day and they got to get rid of as much as they
exactly,
can. So
exactly.
they
So that
start
was, I got
doing
it.
a fill a bag or as much
Yes,
as you can
that's
carry or
exactly what it
whatever.
was. Yes,
And yeah, I love those. Here we are in December. I'm ready for the spring when those start happening again.
yes, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Well,
Definitely.
you've just been a wealth of information. And for a part-time seller, you're doing great.
Well, I try to do it after work, a lot. I mean, sometimes it's really difficult to like, especially listing things. I try
Yes.
to list at least a couple of things a day, but it is hard because, working full time.
Well, and it's an energy thing. If you are putting all your energy into your main job,
Yes.
you have to kind of deal with what's left over at the end of the day or on the weekends. And,
Yes.
you're also trying to catch up on everything else in your home and
That's
laundry,
true.
cleaning and all that stuff. So even
But I
one
mean,
item a day, that's 30 items a month.
that's true.
So that'll get you there.
But I mean, I gotta get my death pile listed though.
That's
That's
right.
what it is. You keep on buying stuff. It's true. It's fun. And you always find new stuff, but you gotta list it.
Right.
That's the thing I
Yeah.
gotta be careful.
Okay. Well, did you want to answer one of the questions at the end?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, about the book I'm reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm reading this thriller by Lisa Unger, and it's
Okay.
called Christmas Presents. And it
Okay.
basically just, I like crime thrillers, and
Yes.
yes, so I enjoy those. So if I have time, I'll, I'm kind of like halfway into it, so I'm reading it, my spare time.
So
It's
is it true
fun.
crime or is it fiction?
No, it's fiction. Fiction.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like when I read that, even true crime, it's just I'm always trying to figure it out as I'm reading it. Like, who did this? Which
Yes.
character did this? So that's a
Yes.
good escape from reality
Yes,
is
it is. It is.
just fiction. And reading's good for your brain. So
It is.
good
I
for
agree.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just, yeah.
Well, this has been great. I'm so glad you could come on and chat with me about your eBay. And we will definitely look for more of your sales on the Facebook group.
Okay, well, thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you, Licia.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't you just love Licia's accent? She is from Italy. I had an aunt from Italy, and Licia reminds me very much of her, my darling Aunt Aida, with that lovely, flowing, and sophisticated Italian accent. Thank you again for coming on, Licia. I really enjoyed meeting you. On to today's trivia question. Since we are just days away from Christmas, the trivia question is, why is Christmas celebrated in December? Maybe a little something to use as a conversation starter at your Christmas dinner this year. Here's some time to think it over. Okay, remember I am just the messenger here. This is from the History Channel, meaning this comes from historians. For the first 3 centuries of Christianity's existence, Jesus Christ's birth wasn't celebrated at all. The religion's most significant holidays were Epiphany on January 6th, which commemorated the arrival of the Magi after Jesus' birth, and Easter, which celebrated Jesus' resurrection. The first official mention of December 25th as a holiday honoring Jesus' birthday appears in an early Roman calendar from AD 336. But was Jesus really born on December 25th in the first place? Probably not. The Bible doesn't mention his exact birthday, and the nativity story contains conflicting clues. For instance, the presence of shepherds and their sheep suggest a spring birth. When church officials settled on December 25th at the end of the 3rd century, they likely wanted the date to coincide with existing pagan festivals honoring Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture. That festival was called Saturnalia, and with Mithra, the Persian god of light, and also to coincide with the winter solstice, which marks the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun. The gradual waning of daylight hours is reversed and begins to grow again. Using these already established festivals and astronomy, it became easier to convince Rome's pagan subjects to accept Christianity as the empire's official religion. And I just find all of that fascinating because it was just this whirlwind of all these different festivals and celebrations that were woven together so that we can celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Okay, next week I have another dynamic duo, Colleen and her son Tom in Minnesota. Colleen has been selling since her kids were small, and her son Tom adopted the eBay lifestyle as a way to help pay for his college. These folks are just delightful people and have some great stories to share. So make sure to tune in again next week. Thank you all for listening to and telling your friends about this podcast. I really appreciate you. And for all of you celebrating Christmas, I hope you have a very merry one and enjoy being with your friends and family. Catch you next week. Bye for now.